So, this topic's a bit different from my usual stuff. While I've been more focused on mechanics and analysis and speculation, I do have opinions about a lot of video game goings-on, especially regarding Smash Bros. And its competitive scene. And today's topic in particular is on a lot of Smash 4 players' minds, with a lot of back and forth and arguments and raised voices and downvoted Reddit posts. I feel I have something worth saying in the matter, and I want to give my stance on it while also pointing out a few things that aren't getting noticed much. So, strap in, because we're going to take a detailed look at the discussion surrounding a certain dreaded DLC duo. Our story begins at the end of the year 2015. The last batches of DLC for Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U have been revealed, and among them are two third-party guest fighters that sent shockwaves throughout the Smash community. The first, Cloud Strife of Final Fantasy VII, a character often considered a long shot at best, since while Final Fantasy as a whole has a long history with Nintendo, Cloud's game in particular does not. Then in walked Bayonetta, chosen from the ballot to bring her home series' unique style to Smash. Once everyone got over the initial shock, I know it took me a couple hours after Cloud's reveal, people warmed up to the idea of them joining the fight and were anxiously anticipating getting to play as them. Then the two were released, and all hell broke loose. The pair proved to be very powerful very quickly. Between the hot takes, tournament placings, and GIFs and Twitch clips, many Smashers' opinions on them took a sour turn fast. While substantial nerfs to both of them settled things for a while, it became clear they were still both top-tier threats, and it didn't take long for arguments to fire up once more. Were these newest fighters too powerful? Were they poised to put a stranglehold on the competitive metagame? It's been over a year and a half now, and there's no end to the tension in sight. So what is going on here? What are those who think Cloud and Bayonetta are or are not game breakers, seeing that drives them to feel so strongly? And could there be something we've done that has fanned the flames even further? So first of all, what's the pro-OP crowd scene? What has them afraid that these two are causing the slow death of Smash 4's competitive scene? Well, not only is Bayonetta a very strong character, she's capable of doing things most other characters aren't. Her combo game is hard-hitting and built into her moveset, netting big conversions and even kills off the top that seem to not only happen at any percent, but with little to no effort on the Bayo player's part. She can control the neutral game with bullet arts and bullet climax. Bat Within lets her break out of combos no other character can, and she can hold her aerials to avoid the lag she's supposed to have after using a bunch of B moves in a row. And then there's Witch Time, a move she can throw out with seemingly reckless abandon to immediately gain the upper hand, get free combos, free fully charged smashes, and set up kills on any character at any percent in any situation for any reason at any part of the stage anytime she wants. At least, it can feel that way. At a glance, Bayonetta can feel utterly invincible, unstoppable. She can feel like a successor to Brawl's resident game breaker Meta Knight, and the stranglehold he had over that game's competitive scene. But not only that, there's this consensus among some that Bayonetta carries her players, that not only do they win, but she lets them win without having to try, expending little effort compared to anyone who mains any other character. Or at least, it can feel that way. And don't think you're free of this, Mr. Wannabe Soldier. While he hasn't been accused of being quite broken on Brawl Meta Knight levels, and isn't believed to rule the meta with an iron fist the way some consider Bayo to, the idea that Cloud carries players is much, much more widespread. He's seen as the easy button for competitive players, so to speak, to the point where it's argued in places that there's little point to playing any other sword fighter or even half the roster when you can just pick up Cloud and up air and cross slash and limit camp your way to free wins. Or at least, it can feel that way. Thing is though, when you take a look at the bigger picture, a lot of the doomsaying seems off the mark. While Bayonetta and Cloud are both really good at punishing new players' natural tendencies, they're not invincible. There is counterplay there, though it tends to require greater knowledge of Smash 4's mechanics and fundamentals. One could argue they're a little too good at the local level, and the fact that playing against them requires more knowledge of the game than playing as them is debatably a mistake in their design, but they aren't the unstoppable juggernauts they seem to be at first glance. And it's a lot more noticeable in high-level play. The most consistent results from both characters have come either from players who've been top level for a long time now, or from known hidden bosses who were only recently able to travel. I know there's this fear of having some gym named Umbra Witch 386420 or something who just started playing fighting games 2 months ago, waltzing into a tournament and button mashing his way to free wins, but at a national or even regional level, that just doesn't happen, because high-level players are prepared. And that's why we haven't seen Cloud or Bayo results at big tournaments stand out any more consistently than the other top tiers. And especially compared to Brawl Meta Knight. Trust me, I followed competitive Brawl for a few years. I saw what he was capable of. Meta Knight was so prevalent and so over-centralizing that he accounted for around 1/3 of all characters in competitive play. And it was pretty normal for top 8s and majors to be half Meta Knight. Bayo and Cloud, they don't hold a candle to that. Look, I'm not gonna stand on a soapbox and point fingers at everyone and scoff and say to get good. That's not what I'm here for. But if the evidence tells us that these two characters, despite their reputations, aren't over-centralizing Smash 4's metagame the way Meta Knight did in Brawl, what's causing so many people to still believe they are? And that, I think, is the core of the problem here. Because the real problem with Bayonetta and Cloud in competitive Smash is the sensationalism surrounding them. Think for a second. In the last, say, month, how many hot takes and snarky one-liners and out-of-context Twitch clips have you seen on social media? We're a very meme-heavy community. Problem is, memes don't tell the whole story. It all gets exaggerated for likes and retweets and upvotes. And each individual one of us gets so bombarded by them on a regular basis that it makes it really freaking difficult to have an actual nuanced discussion about something. When everyone's encouraged to take a side that can be summarized in a 140-character soundbite, it becomes less about figuring out the truth and the best course of action, and more about getting the most attention and the most internet cool points. And when everyone's expected to pick a side and take a hard line, no wonder everyone keeps jumping to conclusions and spouting off stuff like cancer or carried or stop complaining and get good. And worse yet, this also affects how people outside the Smash community perceive us. I'm in contact with some of the people involved in the Pokken tournament community, and I see Pokken players talk about Smash every now and then. And a lot of them think Smash 4's metagame must be falling apart. Why? Because the first and often only thing people outside our community see are these knee-jerk reactions. Oftentimes, the memes carry much further online than any substantial information, and it's actively harming our perception and likely turning people away from joining our competitive scene. So what can we do about this? Honestly, I don't know. Maybe we need a better way of informing the community as a whole. Something responsible and trustworthy and level-headed so fewer Smashers are so misinformed about things. Maybe we need some way to keep from getting dragged around by our vocal minorities all the damn time. And this isn't some isolated incident. The same thing also keeps happening anytime we try to talk stage legality, the Mii fighters, and even character speculation whenever a new game happens. I don't know, maybe this all has something to do with how the Smash community trends younger than most of these other fighting games. But it's clear we need to figure out something, because as is, our tendency to sensationalize everything is stifling our ability to grow and mature. And the way Cloud and Bayonetta are often portrayed as harbingers of doom is one of many ways that takes shape. So yeah, this is a really complicated topic, a lot more than it seems at first. I know hearing something as inconclusive as this doesn't feel as satisfying as reading a tweet or thread headline and feeling all righteous afterward, but things tend to not be so clear-cut, and even understanding that is a step in the right direction. If you're looking for more Smash videos, I have a series called Challenger Approaching where I create detailed concepts for characters who could potentially get into Smash. There may or may not be a couple of such videos in the works right now. And if you want to help more of these videos happen more often, there are a couple different ways you can show support. Huge thanks to my patrons for sticking with me through this rough patch I've had of late. I wouldn't have made it this far without you guys. And so, until next time. And now we wait for any kind of Smash Switch news. Any Smash Switch news at all.